guys, how's it going? Today is Monday, June 10th, 2024. Today, I'm doing some disking up these fields that I chiseled up on Friday last week there. This is the same farm that I come down that Ted Hay and that three-corner piece. That three-corner piece is right up over that hill and down in the dip. We have 3 different strips here that we need to tear up. We got that strip there between the alfalfa and hay, and then we got this field here, and then there's another field down there out from the barn. I did that first, but I was having some trouble with it. It is terrible wet. I have no clue why it's so wet. I guess it's because we've had a lot of rain lately, but the rest of the field is not wet at all. It always does lay a little wet down in there, but that's about the worst I've seen in a long time. Normally you can go right through it with the disc, but when I pick the disc up, I can't even get through it with the disc raised. So you know it's pretty wet, can't do that. So what I ended up doing was just disc around the wet spots because there's nothing else I could do. So I got that field disked other than where it was wet. Now I come up here to this other piece and while I'm working doing it, maybe that'll dry off some down there and I can go over it again. Right there's where I was talking about. My pap is actually mowing some more grass hay down, and my dad was gonna work on raking the grass hay that was mowed down last week, and he's gonna try to get that baled up today. But it's so heavy that even though I went through with its header, we did get some rain yesterday morning, and it's gonna need raked so it can dry out. Once you rake it up into a windrow, the air can get to it and it can dry out better compared to just letting it lay there, because it's never gonna dry as heavy as it is. That's what everybody else is up to today. I'm trying to get some ground ready so we can get some planting done this week, because it's looking like we're gonna have some really nice weather. So it's getting pretty late in the year. Last time, by this time, we had all of our corn in. Part of the reason was because the tractor burnt, and we didn't have a corn planter that was usable, so we had to get custom planted. So it didn't take long because they had a 16-row Kinsey planter. So once we got all the ground ready, they come in and it was like one day they had all the acres planted that we needed done. Up in this upper piece now. It's not too wet. Here in this dip, it's some water landing out the other end, but it's coming up pretty wet and clumpy. So after I get over it once, I'll get down there and go over that piece again, and by that time this piece here should be dried off enough, and I'll come back up and do this one. And I don't think it's gonna be ready to plant today. It's still a little too wet. I mean, it's not terrible, but you gotta have it pretty dry to be planting, or else you gotta plug the planter up. after lunch here. My pap just left to go finish mowing where he was at here this morning. My dad went to go rake some more hay. Now I'm gonna go across the road here with the 870 and the tedder and fluff that hay up that I mowed on Saturday. It's now a couple days later. It's actually Wednesday. The last I filmed was on Monday. Right now we're down at one of the biggest fields that we farm. Doing some disking here today. I just took over. My pap was disking this morning. He started pretty early. Got some more fields knocked out. Finished that farm that I was filming at last there. It's still pretty wet, but I think we're gonna wait till the end of the week here before it rains and give that a chance to dry out a little more, and then plant it. It's not going to really dry out too much if it's going to rain again, but we want to give it a little bit of a chance if we can. But the ground I'm working now, there's actually 4 different fields at this place along the railroad tracks here. Up across the tracks, there's a field up there. My pap had already went over that field once this morning, and he come down here and started on the big field. This field's around 30-some acres, so it takes a little bit of time to get over it. And it is pretty stony down towards the bottom here because the river floods here and it washes your topsoil and stuff away, so you get down the stone in a couple places, but it's not too big of a deal. You just gotta slow up and work with it. Up here on the upper side, it's pretty decent soil, so you can make some time there. But other than that, it seems to be working out pretty nice. This ground had the manure spread on it here last week, so we're incorporating that manure a little bit here. My pap, he went to go start planting corn, and my dad went to go rake some hay, and then he's gonna bale it here later this afternoon. What's happening? It's Thursday morning now. Still disking down here along the railroad where we were yesterday. Went over the field, this big field once. My pap and I both running it there a little bit. He ran it while I was milking, but he was also doing some planting there too, so the tractor did do some sitting. And then last night I finished going over it. There was still a little bit to do yet. And then going over it the second time now. I'm starting up there at the track, so I'm coming down this way. So I got a good bit of it done. I'd say we got about half of the field done because some of it I'm not going to do. Where it's really stony out there at the other end down there next to the river. I'm not going to go over that again. It's so hard, it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth the time and the wear on the disc. It's pretty hard on the disc. But this ground here, it's pretty nice out here at this end. So it just needs going over a second time. I don't know if the camera can really pick it up, but it is pretty clumpy. And you can see over here where I hit disc already. Again, it's a lot nicer looking. Plan is to hopefully get this field done today and move on to the other 2 over there. And then my pap's gonna start planting up here. My dad has some more hay to bale today, some more dry hay. Just finished going over the big field this second time here. It's all done. Just doing this end here. I have that end out there done because some of the end is nothing but real stony ground, so I didn't even worry about that. We'll just pretty much no-till into that part of the field there. But my pap is up there planting. He's been planting for about a good 45 minutes to an hour here. Had a little bit of trouble with the planter there, but seems to, I guess, be working fine now. So get this end disced off here. My dad's baling hay, and then we'll go over here to these other two pieces and get them disced up, and hopefully we can get this all planted today. Farthest piece over now, the smallest one down here. I got the middle-sized piece done, the piece that's in the middle. It's done once. I gotta go over this piece here again, but I'm done. And then go over that piece there again. And then this will be it here below the tracks. It's not a very big field here. It's almost too small for this disc, but we make it work. Folder up. We got the small field done. Now we can move over and get this field here done. It's later on in the evening here now. Doing a little bit of planting. Had some problems with the one row back there. Planter is actually getting in pretty bad shape. We didn't know it until the one row broke, where the seed tube comes down through and where the openers for your seed attach, your seed disc there. The planter is actually getting pretty bad shape on each individual row where those openers are. So we got a neighbor to fix this up. Hopefully it's gonna hold us for this year. Might have to look into getting another planter for the next year. It's kind of unfortunate because we had fixed this one up, but what do you do? Stuff's gotta wear out eventually, so not really too much you can do about it. This is the 4th year using this planter. Hope to have a little more than that, but I guess we'll see how we make out. I don't know. This planter here is a little bit different than some other planters. I know on some Kinsey planters, I've watched 10th Gen's videos. He had to rebuild a couple of his rows, and that's the same exact problem we're having. It's cracking back there. The metal's getting thin, but this planter here is made a little bit different, so I'm not sure if those parts are actually replaceable or not, so we might end up having to look into another planter. It's actually Friday now. I apologize, this video is expanded across this whole week here pretty much, but we've been working at disking and planting all week here, just getting a little bit knocked out here to every day, at least trying to. Had some hay to make as well, so that kind of intervened with the corn planting. But we're getting it done though. We're down to the last I'd say last 40 or 50 acres, I believe. My pap just finished up at the farm that we were at, the big farm where that big field was. This morning here, I had planted some there last night, and before that I had planter trouble, so that set us back a little bit. But now now we're getting caught back up again, hoping everything works out all right. I'm actually disking behind the neighbor's chicken houses here, down the road from our place a little bit. And this field here, it's pretty stony. We've no-tilled in the past, but it doesn't do very good when it's no-tilled. So if you like to tear it up, you just gotta take your time. Don't go in very deep. You're breaking the cross up pretty much at the weeds. It's looking pretty good. What happens, actually got to start planting here soon, so I'm trying to keep ahead of him a little bit. Now the rest of this farm here is in strips. Every other strip down through on that side of the driveway there is corn and alfalfa. You guys see me breaking hay there a couple videos back. But this field here, it's a separate field, and it actually lays pretty wet throughout the year at times. But right now it's in really nice shape. There's a couple wet spots. Right here's one. It's coming off a little wet, but it's actually not bad at all. It's nothing that the planter can't go through. But if it's too wet, you can just lift up and go around it. But the rest of the field's incredibly decent shape. It's disking up really nice too.